That was cool. And hello and welcome to another Starmen Just Watched. I'm Devin. With me as always is Billy.
Woo!
And yeah, we watched the new Beavis and Butthead movie.
To the universe!
And yeah, what a fun movie.
Oh my god, I can't remember.
I can't remember the last time we laughed at a movie like this.
Yeah. That's
And
saying something.
That's saying a lot. Especially because I had reservations going into this movie.
Yeah,
Because when was the last Beavis and Butthead thing?
2011.
2011.
There was the attempted, first revival of it, and it only lasted a couple months.
Yeah. So they've been kind of out of the spotlight for 11 years.
Yeah. But this is their rebirth because after this, they're doing another revival on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
And plus, they're going to have the new episodes later this year, plus backlog of all the old episodes.
There you go. Because, yeah, I do remember, I watched them when I was a kid and younger.
Yeah, I remember seeing a few of the episodes here and there, and I love the movie.
Yeah. The movie's good.
Oh, yeah.
We will eventually get to that one eventually.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have to go back and do that one at some point.
Of course we are, after seeing this.
Yeah.
So, but I was worried about, the humor. Because that is it feels like it would have been dated humor.
Yeah.
It's oh yeah, that was funny back then, but was it really that funny now?
Yeah.
But no, they updated it enough that it's still the same humor, but it's modernized.
Yep.
And if you don't like Beavis and Butthead to start with, you're not going to like this movie.
No.
But if you liked Beavis and Butthead original,
Yeah.
you're going to love this movie.
Oh, yeah, no, it's...
And I say love, not love.
And that's saying something from Devin.
Yeah. Because this had all the plot points. You know kind of how the story's going to go. But it's how they get there that you're oh my god, I can't believe.
It's just random accidents.
Yeah. It's just a series of dumb luck that
There you
gets them anywhere in life. And I was because they're told about this portal that they have to enter, and it's on the top of Mount Everest, and of course they ignore that.
Yeah.
And I was yeah, so here's the plot. They totally didn't catch that they need to go through this portal.
Yeah.
But somehow they're going to end up through that portal.
Yeah.
And guess what? They subvert your expectations. They do not make it through that portal.
Yep. It's oh. Okay, so we could just throw anything in there.
Yeah. We kind of made a big deal out of this.
Yeah, we could have just tossed in a brick and everything would have been
Fine, yeah. So, simple plot.
Alright, so it starts off in 1998.
Yeah.
And...
Isn't that when the original... Or 1996 is when the original stopped.
No, 1996 was when the movie came out. I think it was 97. I think the original series ended.
Okay. So just it was very close to their end date. So
yeah,
kind of interesting that they picked that date.
Yeah, just immediately starting off brand modern, right?
Yeah. And it starts off like pretty much every other Beavis and Butthead episode.
Yeah, they're just
okay. You go ahead.
So they're just at the science fair and they think they're just kicking each other in the nuts.
Well, just Beavis or Butthead kicking Beavis in the nuts.
Yeah, it's so yeah, just see how long. And just before we pass out, it's whoa, is that your science fair project?
That's a science fair.
Then they see the automatic kicking machine.
Yeah. All right, we want the simple plot, not the full plot.
Oh, yeah, no. So they set fire and they get sentenced to 6 or 8 months in space camp, and then they realize that they can do something they need, and they go into space. They fuck it up. They end up going through a black hole and show up in 2022.
Yeah. And pretty much that's the nutshell version.
Yeah.
So, like, we can go for the story beats all we want, but I really kind of recommend this is one of those ones that...
No, you are going to have to, like,
you gotta watch this to really get the impact. If I told you what happened, you're like, okay, that's funny, but you gotta actually see it in play.
Like, see it and get your reaction.
Yep. But, yeah, it's the dumb logic of... they go into space because they think they're going to score.
Which
is like 90% of their plots in a nutshell.
I mean, that was the last movie.
Yeah. And the woman that they go to space with comes back after, like, the ship's been wrecked in space. She barely survives. She becomes the governor of Texas from it. And they had to sacrifice 2 members, and of course, from stupid luck, just Beavis and Butthead are those 2 members sent to be jettisoned.
Like we don't want to tell you how they do it because it's
hilarious. And of course, they end up in a wormhole. I don't know how they survive space for several days.
Yeah, they go to the black hole.
But they go for a black hole and they end up back in Texas, 2022.
We gotta look at the number. The one above it.
69. Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot of that dumb humor. It's, if you don't know Beavis and Butthead humor, it's really hard to describe, but it's very primitive humor.
Yeah. It's 90s humor.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't even say 90s humor.
Okay.
It's just primitive humor. It's teenage boy humor.
There you go.
Yeah.
Best way to sum it up.
Best way to sum it up. It's immature, like, not a lot of thought process going on in these jokes. But that's the point. It's like, you watch it because there is no thought process.
Yeah, no, you just turn your brain off and just
laugh. So things you liked about the movie, Billy?
Just good guy, yeah. Oh, I kind of like how they had like the song cameos from some of the other characters in the courtroom.
Yep.
Like I was hoping the neighbor would speak just so I could hear Hank Hill's voice one more time.
Yeah, but I knew that wasn't coming.
No. But we didn't get to see an older version of Bobby, apparently.
Yeah, no! There is a guy that looks like an older version of Bobby. I won't say it is Bobby, but...
But they... trivia on IMDb, I looked up, it's supposed to look like an older version of Bobby Hill. I'm like, yeah, I was right.
Yeah. He doesn't have a speaking role or anything.
No,
but just looks.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, like, the series of events it keeps you on your toes, and I like that.
Oh, yeah. Like, the Fortified scene.
The Fortified scene is really good. Going to this one, they basically spend like 2 days in a porta potty being transported from Texas back to where they live.
Yeah.
And they're trying to fish a smartphone out of the porta potty. Basically, Beavis is stuck in there as Butthead's like jumping up and down on him.
Yeah, for 2 days, that's just a
yeah, for 2 days straight.
We're gonna go farther.
Yeah. Then when they finally reach their destination, Butthead looks in and is like, "Oh, here it is." It's like it wasn't even that far in.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you like random violence, there's a lot of random violence.
Oh, yeah.
It has some touching moments too, but unintentionally.
Yeah.
Like the speeches Beavis gives are like, oh, that's touching if it was out of context. Things you didn't like about the movie.
Yeah, let's kind of have one.
Yeah. We always struggle with what we don't like.
Yeah, no, it's always...
If you haven't seen our show, we'll bring this up and then we'll have to think for a moment.
Yeah.
There was that scene where Beavis' hand got jammed in the garbage disposal, and then next scene it's immediately healed. And I was like, okay, I get it. Like, the cartoon joke is that, like, it just magically heals off screen, but I think it would have been more funnier if they bandaged it up or if it was just still bleeding as they're just sitting on the couch. Like, just not aware of it anymore.
Yeah.
Didn't really need to see how they looked in 2022 if they had just lived their lives normally.
Yeah.
Like, I get the joke there, but it's like kind of an overdone joke that they do.
Yeah.
And the brief moment where they separate because they have their argument.
Yeah.
Was kind of unnecessary because it's quickly overcome.
Yeah.
I was like, they split up, and I was looking at how much time was left. And I was like, oh, they're gonna fix this real quick because otherwise,
pointless plot.
Yeah, it was a very pointless plot. It was supposed to add tension, I guess, but it just, I guess if they held on a little longer. I guess it also was just to set up the next scene. So, here's what happens for the rest of the plot is, when they come back from 2022, a government agent thinks that they're aliens and is hunting them down.
Yeah. Which, believable.
Believable. And also, the governor who was originally on the spaceship with them thinks that they're back to ruin her career because she technically did murder them.
Yeah.
So, she wants them dead so that they don't tell their story, and the government wants to dissect them because they think they're aliens.
Yeah. But they just realized, hey, we just both want the same thing.
Yeah. So when they separate, one group gets Butthead and the other group gets Beavis. And then they negotiate and come together and realize, hey, we're on the same side. Yeah, we went away from the things we don't like to, like, things we kind of liked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't say too much on this one.
No, like, it's...
For things I hate, anyway.
Yeah, like... Yeah, because like I said, going into this, like, I'm like, okay, it's been, like, so long since Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, damn, they surprised us.
Yeah, because it's... Okay, here's the question for you. Someone who's never seen Beavis and Butthead, would you recommend this movie to them?
Depending on if you know the human tolerance, so they...
Yeah. If you know what they like for humor.
Yeah, if I think, like, okay, well, then they should like... They might like this.
Yeah. But would you start them with this, or would you start with Do America?
I would do America first.
Yeah.
Just so you can get a feel of what these guys are.
Yeah. See, this feels like you could do either one.
Okay.
In my mind. Both have kind of the same beats and story plot. And same kind of humor. So, honestly, I'd start them with the show first and see really how they gauge the show.
There you go. Just be with the show, thanks.
Yeah. Because, like, the episodes in the show are like 15 minutes, 11 minutes long for a skit.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, they're little skits for most of it. But other than that, if you have not seen Beavis and Butthead, it's really hard to recommend Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
Final thoughts before we end this episode. It's going to be kind of a shorter one if we don't have good final thoughts.
Yeah, because like I said, this is like one of the movies like we don't like giving spoilers to, so...
No, it's too new to give a spoiler
review.
We try to avoid that.
But yeah, no.
And if it's a movie we like, we don't spoil.
Oh yeah,
because
no.
we recommend more that people just watch the movie.
Yeah.
Come back to this. Go watch the movie, then come back to this.
Yeah.
Go watch the movie. Final thoughts on it.
Oh, like I said, kind of change my expectations of the movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, and it didn't. It's like it's still a product of its time, but it's like shows the glory days of its time.
Yeah.
We'll say. What I mean by that is a lot of times when they reboot it, they try to modernize it too hard.
Yeah, like that's what I was kind of laughing myself. Like, okay, so they're just gonna like set it right off the bat, 2022.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's a 1998. Like, okay, I like how it's starting.
Yep. And then the worry there is also it's too far back in the past to be relevant. It's like these jokes would have landed back then, but they're not landing now for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Things have changed. And the humor levels are just... I don't know how they do it, but they always manage to make it... It's not overly violent, but it's violent enough.
Yeah.
It's crude, but it's not overly crude. No. And it's immature, but it's not overly immature.
Yeah, it balances everything out.
Beavis and Butthead have always stunned me for how balanced the humor has always been.
Good job, Mike Judge.
Yes. That is my one good praise credit is like, it never goes over the top, but it never undersells.
Yeah.
Where I've seen stuff like Family Guy goes over the top way too much.
Yeah. Why we all stopped watching it.
It's why I stopped watching it. And same with some shows like Simpsons is now in that boat.
Yeah, they really just trying to like...
Yeah.
Do more like Family Guy, which...
is not what Simpsons needed.
No.
And South Park even.
Yeah.
Also, another thing is they're never trying to be political or tell a political message in Beavis and Butthead.
It's just stupid fun.
It's just stupid teens doing dumb shit. That's all I want in my show.
Yeah.
I don't need a message. In fact, they never learned anything at the end of any of the episodes or in the movies or anything. It just goes back to square one.
I know, right? Like,
it all just kind of loops back. But with that, though, we'll call the episode here. So thank you very much for listening in. Until next time, I'm Devin.
We are Starmen. We need views for our channel. Want to subscribe to our channel?
You are disrespecting our channel. Alright, have a good one, guys.